A hugely important aspect of poverty and inequality in the UK economy and society is the high prevalence of working poverty. So this study video looks at what working poverty is and some of the policies that might be used to address it. Now, poverty is often associated with unemployment. However, many people in the UK are classified as living in working poverty. And this occurs when a working person's income after housing costs is less than 60% of the national average. And that means they don't earn enough in their job to meet the cost of living. They're living in working poverty. The Joseph Rowntree Foundation, in their most recent report on poverty in the UK, found that 1 in 8 workers, 13%, are currently experiencing in-work poverty. And this chart shows the percentage of individuals in the UK in relative low income. And the dark red line there shows working age adults. Just over 20% of working age adults are in poverty in the UK. Working poverty is often associated with people who have a job, often 1 or 2 part-time jobs, for example, but those jobs are at the lowest level of pay in the labour market. And this chart just summarises for you the lowest paid jobs in the UK in 2022, taking as the measure median full-time pay in pounds per week. Leisure and theme park attendants earned only £356 a week for a full-time job. Waiters and waitresses, £365 a week. Hairdressers and barbers, £365 a week, so likewise. Keep in mind, of course, this is median pay. The mean pay in these jobs is likely to be higher. So, which policies might help reduce the scale of working poverty in the UK? Well, let me take you through 5. It's important to note that working poverty is a complex issue, cutting it is hard, and no single policy on its own is likely to be a silver bullet. We're looking here at a combination of measures targeted at both improving workers' earnings and also maybe cutting their costs of living so that you can bring down the scale of working poverty in the UK. So it's a twin-track approach. I guess the most obvious would be to increase the minimum wage, the legal pay floor in the labour market. Increasing the minimum wage, or perhaps getting more employers to pay the real living wage, can help lift low-wage workers out of poverty, adding to their monthly and annual incomes and increase their purchasing power. A second approach is to improve job quality. So in many parts of the UK, people are on low pay, but they also live in insecure employment. They're not sure what their earnings are going to be from week to week or month to month. This has often been called the precariat, or people working on 0-hours contracts. So perhaps policies that increase the availability of full-time, secure and well-paid jobs can help reduce relative and working poverty. A third aspect is to bring down the cost of living. For many people on low pay, the cost of renting, the cost of housing generally is extremely high. So perhaps providing access to better quality affordable housing can bring down the burden of housing costs on low-wage workers, because that will free up more of their income to spend on other goods and services. A fourth policy is linked with that. It's to bring down the cost of childcare. Improving access to affordable childcare can help in particular low-wage parents, particularly women, both enter and remain in the active workforce. And the government has introduced some initiatives there, including a commitment to expanding tax-free childcare. And fifthly, and I think this is the longer-term policy here, improving access to education and training, because that will help workers acquire the skills, economists call this human capital, that they need to secure better paying jobs in a fast changing labour market. And if people are earning more from their jobs, that's clearly going to reduce relative poverty in the long term. But again, keep in mind here, we need a combination of measures. No one policy on its own is going to reduce the problem. Policies to target and tackle working poverty need fundamentally to aim at increasing the human capital, the skills, the experience, and the productivity of people in low-paid jobs, and support them in finding affordable childcare and housing. And some people will go further, arguing that we need to strengthen employment rights in the labour market. Less than 1/4 of people are members of a trade union, for example. And underemployment is also a major cause of working poverty. For example, people might be able to find a part-time job whereas what they'd really like is a full-time job. Underemployment is a waste of human resources and often drives down the incomes that people get from their work. Many people are still trapped in low-paid work with unreliable hours. And in that situation, working poverty is likely to remain a key policy issue in the UK. Thanks for joining. Hope you found this useful. Please press like and subscribe if you did. And take care. See you soon.